He had always been there. Then, one day he was gone. And now, the silence felt louder than ever. This is a story of distance, of loss, but also of the quiet strength humans carry deep inside. When others turn away, humanity hopes. And sometimes, that hope changes everything. Evan sat at the window, staring at the gray sky. The rain was soft, but it matched the quiet feeling in his chest. He used to love this kind of weather. It reminded him of the long talks he used to have with Leo. Leo had been his closest friend since they were kids. They grew up on the same street, played the same games, and even dreamed of building things together one day. Leo was the one person Evan could talk to about anything: dreams, fears, science, even the stars. But 2 months ago, Leo moved away. It wasn't sudden. Leo's family had planned it for a while. His father got a job on one of the new colony stations orbiting Saturn. It was a good opportunity, everyone said. A proud moment for humans expanding to the stars, reaching further, showing the galaxy what Earth could do. But Evan didn't feel proud. He felt hollow. At first they messaged each other often. Video calls, quick texts, shared memories. Slowly, the messages became less frequent. Leo was busy adjusting to space life, meeting new people, taking on new challenges. Evan understood that. Still, the silence hurt. He missed Leo's laugh, his silly space jokes, his ideas about how humanity would one day work side by side with aliens to build peaceful worlds. Now, Evan walked through his day like a ghost. At school, he kept his head down. He had friends, but none like Leo, even when he was with others. He felt alone. One night, Evan sat in bed staring at his ceiling. There was a small, glowing sticker of Earth there. Gift from Leo. He reached up and touched it gently. "Do you still think about Earth?" he whispered to the sticker. He felt foolish, but the words came out anyway. "Do you miss me like I miss you?" His chest ached with something heavy. Not just sadness, something deeper. He wanted to reconnect. He needed to. But he didn't know how. What would he even say? "Hey, I miss you. Hey, I feel left behind." No, it all felt too small. Then, he had an idea. The next day, Evan went to the local library. He asked for help finding out how to contact people on colony stations. The librarian smiled kindly and showed him how to send public messages through the Interplanetary Exchange Network. It was like an old-fashioned letter system, but across. The stars at Evan went home and sat in front of his screen. He opened a blank message form and stared at it for a long time. Then slowly, he began to type. To Leo Armin, Saturn Orbital Colony, to from Evan Pike. Earth, New Oregon Settlement. Hi, Leo. I don't really know what to say. I miss you. It's been quiet here. School's the same. Your old locker is still stuck. I walk by it every day. I know you're busy. Life up there must be amazing. But I wanted to remind you of something. You said humans are special because we hope. You said we always find a way to care, no matter how far apart we are. I guess I'm just holding on to that. I don't need a long reply. Just let me know if you're still out there thinking about us, thinking about home, thinking about me, your friend Evan. He read it 3 times. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. He sent it. Then he waited. A week passed. Then 2. Nothing. He told himself not to hope. Maybe the message didn't reach him. Maybe Leo was too busy. Maybe their time was just over. But something inside him refused to give up, that small, stubborn thing humans are known for. Then, on the 23rd day, his screen blinked. Incoming message from Leo Armin. Evan's heart jumped. He opened it with shaking hands. Evan, I read your message 3 times. I didn't reply sooner because I didn't know how to say what I was feeling. I miss you too. I've been trying so hard to fit in here. Everyone expects me to be focused, perfect, ready. But I felt like a piece of me stayed back on Earth with you. I forgot that hope isn't just about the future. It's about the people we carry with us. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'll write more soon. A lot more always, your friend. Leo. Evan leaned back and smiled. The weight in his chest didn't go away completely, but it lifted. He looked out the window again. The sky was still gray. Now it felt different, because hope had found its way through space. And that's what humans do. They reach, they care, they try. Even across the stars. Asterisk, when someone you love becomes a memory, your heart learns too. Whisper across the stars. In a universe full of silence, humans don't forget. They feel, they hope, and they retrieve when the distance seems impossible. This is part 2 of a story where distance doesn't mean the end. It means a new beginning. The mornings felt too quiet now. Mira sat on her front porch, watching the leaves fall from the tall oak tree in her yard. Autumn had arrived early this year. The air was cold, but her heart felt colder. 3 months had passed since her sister Lila left Earth. Lila wasn't just her sister. She was her best friend, her closest voice in the world. They used to stay up late talking about life, dreams, and all the things they would do together. But then Leela had been chosen to join the human outreach mission on planet Eisner, a peaceful alien world that wanted to learn from Earth. It was a huge honor. Only 30 people were chosen. Leela had trained for years, and Mira had always been proud of her. But when the day came, and the ship rose into the sky, Myra felt something inside her break. Since then, everything felt different. First, they messaged every few days. The connection between Earth and Eisner was slow, but possible. Leela always ended her notes with, "I miss you more than stars," the phrase they made up as kids. But lately silence? 2 weeks. No reply, no message, nothing. Mira stared at her. Communicate her every night, hoping for even one word. She thought of sending another message. But what could she say that she hadn't already? "I miss you. Are you okay? Do you still think of me?" It felt small, weak, uncertain, and Mira didn't want to sound desperate. Still, the ache in her chest grew deeper each day. She tried to focus on school, on music, on anything, but nothing felt right, without Leela's voice in her life even. The things she once loved felt dim. One evening, Mira walked to the back of her house, where they used to sit on the roof. She climbed up carefully and lay back, eyes staring up at the stars. She whispered, "Do you see the same stars from there?" She knew the answer. Eisner was light years away, orbiting a red sun in a different part of the galaxy. But still, maybe Lila looked up too. The wind was soft. The stars blinked quietly, distant and cold. And yet Mira didn't feel fully alone. Humans had always been small compared to space, but that had never stopped them. They built ships, they crossed stars, they learned alien languages, they shared dreams with species who looked nothing like them. Not because they were the strongest, but because they believed in connection. Mira sat up slowly. If humans could reach new worlds, surely she could reach her sister. She climbed down and went straight to her small desk. She opened the old notebook Leela gave her when she turned 13. Inside were sketches, quotes, and messages they had written to each other through the years. One page caught her eye. "If I ever get lost in space," Lila had written once, "write to me like I'm right next to you. Words carry more than light." Mira smiled through her tears. She picked up a pen and began writing, not just a message, but a letter from her heart too. "Leela, Eisner Colony team from Mira, Earth High Leela. I don't know if this will reach you. Maybe your communicator is broken. Maybe you're too busy helping the aliens understand who we are. That's okay. I just need to say some things. I miss you. Everything here reminds me of you. I sat on our roof tonight and looked up. I know you're too far to see the same stars, but I hoped maybe you'd be looking up too. You told me once that humans are good at holding on, even when the universe wants us to let go. I believe that now, because I'm still holding on to you. If you can't write back, I'll still keep writing. I'll keep believing, because humans don't give up on those they love. Wherever you are, I hope you can feel it. Love." Mirashi copied the message into the interstellar message service. Then she clicked send. The screen blinked once, then again, and then it was quiet. Mira didn't expect a reply, but she felt something shift inside her. She had done something brave. She had reached out when it hurt. 4 days later, the screen lit up. Incoming message. Leela Eisner, Colony Mira, gasped. Her fingers trembled as she opened the message. Mira, I read your letter 5 times. I'm sorry for the silence. A dust storm here damaged our comm system. We just got everything working again today. Your words, they were everything I needed. Yeah, I've felt lonely too, even surrounded by aliens and new worlds. But your voice reached me clearer than any signal. You're right, humans hold on. And I'm holding on to you. I'll write every week now, I promise. Forever, your sister among the stars. Lilamira laughed and cried at the same time. Distance hadn't won because hope quiet. Steady hope had crossed the galaxy, and that's what humans do best. They promise to stay in touch, but promises fade when stars get in the way. This is the story of a quiet heart, a silent sky, and the very human need to hold on. When connection feels lost, humanity does not stop. It hopes, it dreams, and it reaches. This is part 3 of that journey. Liam stood at the edge of the field where he and his cousin June used to fly their little drone. The wind was soft that afternoon. The grass danced like waves, but the sky felt too empty. It had been over a month since June left for the Mars Education Academy. She had always wanted to study engineering on Mars, build bridges, machines, and maybe even lead the first city in the red dust. Liam was proud. Really, he was. But now, everything felt quiet without her. June wasn't just his cousin. She was his teammate, his partner in everything. They built robots together, raced drones, and stayed up late dreaming about the future. They had a notebook filled with wild ideas like solar wings and space elevators. She called him Chief. Thinker? He called her Captain Fix-It. But now Captain Fix-It was on a different planet. And Liam was here, alone. At first, they sent voice messages. June's voice was full of excitement. Liam, you would love the labs here. Real Martian dust everywhere. She sent photos. 2 strange orange skies, red mountains, and her smiling face in a silver training suit. Liam smiled back at first. But as the days passed, the messages came less often. June's studies kept her busy. The time difference didn't help. Soon, the silence grew. Liam checked his communicator every evening. Nothing. He wanted to message her, but what would he say? Are you too busy for me? Did you forget our promises? Do you still think of Earth? He hated those questions. They felt heavy, unfair. So instead, he said nothing. He kept going to school. He kept fixing his small robot alone. But it wasn't the same. One Saturday, he went to the attic and pulled out their old idea notebook. Its pages were messy, full of scribbles, half-drawn plans, and jokes. One page stood out. When one of us leaves Earth, the other will stay and build something big, something human. So we never forget each other. Liam smiled softly. 8 wrote that when they were 12. He was still here. She had gone. Maybe it was time to build something again. That night, Liam sat at his desk with the notebook beside him. He looked at the empty space on his shelf, the one where their drone used to sit before. June took it with her to Mars. He opened his tablet and began sketching a new design. It wouldn't be a drone, it wouldn't fly, but it would speak. He would build a voice box, a small machine that could store one message and play it over and over, like a tiny memory speaker. Something to remind June who they were. He called it the Echo Box. For the next 2 weeks, Liam worked every evening. He found old circuit boards, rewired a speaker, and 3D printed a small cube to hold it all. Inside, he placed a small note for the captain from her chief. Then came the message. He recorded his voice quietly, holding the notebook in his lap. Hey June, if you're hearing this, it means the stars haven't stolen our voices. Yet, I miss building with you. I miss laughing with you. I miss us. This box may be small, but the hope inside it, that's huge. Come find it when you can. He smiled. His voice cracked a little, but it was real. He wrapped the Echo Box in soft foam and placed it in a package addressed to June Reese. Mars Education Academy, Sector 7 dorm, Red Rock Station. Weeks passed, Again, silence. Then one night his communicator beeped. Incoming video message, June Reese. Liam's heart jumped. He opened the message. There she was, sitting on a red rock, holding the echo box in her hand. She looked straight at the camera, smiling with tears in her eyes. "You sent me hope in a box," she said, voice shaking. "You always knew how to speak when I forgot. How to listen. I've been tired, Liam. I've been trying to prove I belong here, and in all of that, I forgot what matters." She held up the notebook, now in her lap. "I still read this. Every page, every dream, and I want you to know. Never forgot us. Never." She leaned closer. "I'm building something too. A machine that shares messages across Mars with light pulses. I'll name it after you. The Chief Thinker Link." Liam laughed out loud. His chest felt warm for the first time in weeks. The stars hadn't taken her away. Hope had traveled farther than silence. And once again, humanity had shown what it does best: create and hold on, even when hearts are worlds apart. This is the story of quiet sadness, its growing distance, and the deeply human need to feel close again. Even when the world changes, humans keep holding on with hope, with heart, and with the will to reconnect. This is part 4 of that journey. Sophia stared at the empty chair across from her in the art room. It used to be Lily's seat. Lily, with her bright laugh and hands always covered in paint. Lily, who always brought cookies on Fridays and played music while they worked on their art projects. Lily, her best friend. Now, that chair was just ... empty. It had been 5 weeks since Lily moved to Europa Station with her parents. Her mom was a space doctor, part of a team helping set up a medical base for Earth's growing missions near Jupiter's moon. Sophia still remembered the goodbye. Lily had hugged her tightly. "I'll send you videos every week," she said. "Promise." Sophia smiled at the memory, but her eyes stung a little. Lily had sent 3 messages during the first 2 weeks. They were full of excitement, floating in low gravity, new foods, and seeing Jupiter out the window. But after that, nothing. Videos, no replies. Maybe she got busy. Maybe the signal was weak. Maybe she just moved on. The thoughts hurt. Sophia had tried recording a message, but every time she opened the camera, her voice got stuck. What could she say? "Hi, I feel like half of me is missing. I don't know how to make art without you." It all sounded too much instead. She stayed quiet. She spent her afternoons alone in the art room, drawing soft lines, mixing colors, but never finishing anything. Without Lily, her ideas felt incomplete. One rainy Thursday, she found herself wandering through the school library. She wasn't looking for anything. She just wanted to feel less empty. In the far corner, tucked behind tall shelves, she saw a dusty book titled Messages Through Time, the First Space Letters. She sat on the floor and flipped it open. Inside were letters from the first humans on Mars, sent back to their families on Earth. There were drawings, poems, even small memory recordings. One letter read, "It's not the distance that hurts. It's the silence. But if you still write to me, I'll still feel close." Sophia stared at that sentence for a long time. Her heart beat faster. Maybe she didn't need the perfect words. Maybe she just needed to start. That night, she took out her sketchbook. It was the one she and Lily started together, half filled with doodles, designs, and notes to each other. Sophia flipped to a blank page and started drawing. She drew a floating space station, shaped like a flower, drifting peacefully near a glowing planet. Inside, 2 girls stood by a window, one with curly hair and paint on her cheeks, the other with a bun and a bright smile. They were looking out together, holding hands. On the bottom, Sophia wrote, "This is how I see us." Still looking out at the stars? Still together. She scanned the drawing and opened the interplanetary message app too. Lily Rowe. Europa Station Medical Housing 12 from Sophia Lynn, Earth Maple Ridge School. Hey Lily. I found an old book today about people sending letters to space. It made me think of you. Of us. So here's a drawing. I didn't know what to say in words, so I used color and shape instead. I miss you. I hope you're okay. Hope you're still painting. Right back when you can. Always your friend. Sophia hesitated for a moment. Then, with a deep breath, clicked. Send for days passed. Then 5. No reply. But on the 6th night, just as she was heading to bed, her tablet blinked. Message from Lily Rose. Sophia jumped out of bed and opened the file. It was a video. Lily appeared on the screen, wearing a silver hoodie and floating gently above the floor. Sophia, I'm sorry I didn't write. Things got so busy here. Then I got scared. I thought maybe you'd moved on. Maybe you forgot me. Lily's eyes looked watery, but your drawing. It made me cry, in the best way. I printed it and taped it on my pod wall. Every morning I see it and think of us. She held up her own sketch pad. I drew you too, in a red spacesuit, standing next to me at Europa's ice caves. Because one day you'll visit, we'll paint the stars together. Lily smiled. I miss you more than I can say. Let's never stop sending pictures, even if words are hard. The screen faded. Sophia sat quietly, holding her tablet to her chest. She wasn't alone, not really. Sometimes distance is loud and silence is heavier than space. But humans don't stay silent forever. They draw, they write, they reach, they hope, and that's what makes them shine brighter than any star. Stop caring. In a galaxy where people move far and fast, feelings don't always keep up. This is a story about quiet sadness, distant friendship, and the human heart that keeps hoping. This is part 5 of that journey. Noah sat on the old bench by the school garden, his hands resting in his lap. The flowers were starting to bloom, yellow, pink, and white. Spring had arrived, but Noah didn't feel happy. He missed Ezra. They used to sit here together, talking about everything. The stars, books, life. Ezra had a way of making the world feel lighter. His laugh was easy, and his mind was full of strange ideas about space, aliens, and building a better future. But now, Ezra was gone. His family had moved to the moon habitat just over 2 months ago. It was part of Earth's plan to expand its human presence beyond orbit. Worked with the Lunar Tech Alliance. It was a big deal. Noah had smiled during the goodbye, even helped carry Ezra's bags to the shuttle terminal. But inside, his chest felt like it was breaking. Ezra had promised they'd keep in touch. They exchanged a few messages in the first 2 weeks. Ezra sent pictures of the moon landscape, dusty, gray, but beautiful in its own way. Feels like walking inside a dream, he had said. But slowly, the messages stopped. Noah checked his inbox every night, waiting. Nothing, he told himself. It was fine. The moon habitat probably had a busy schedule. Maybe Ezra just needed time. Still, the silence hurt. At school, Noah kept to himself. He used to share his science projects with Ezra. Now he didn't even finish them. He'd walk the halls like a shadow, quiet and unnoticed. One day, while helping in the garden, Noah found something. Buried under the dirt near the old bench was a small, flat stone. It had been painted, half of it blue, half silver, with the words "Dream Higher" written across it. He remembered now. Ezra had made that stone last summer. They had created wish stones for fun, each with a message of hope. Ezra had hidden his near the garden. Noah wiped off the dirt and held the stone tightly. Something warm sparked in his chest. That night, Noah sat in his room with the stone beside him. He stared at his screen, still unsure if he should message Ezra. He opened the draft window. It had been blank for weeks. He thought of what Ezra always said when things got tough. Humans are small, but our hearts stretch far. We survived the stars. Maybe it was time to stretch again. 2. Ezra Min, Moon Habitat, East Wing 4 from Noah Rivers, Earth, Sunrise, Middle School. Hi, Ezra. I found the stone. It's the one you hid by the bench. Dream higher. Remember that? It made me smile and think. I don't know what's going on up there. Maybe you're busy. Maybe you forgot. But I just want you to know something. I haven't moved on. Not really. I still think about our talks, about building a future, about the stars. I hope you're okay. If you want, I'll still be here, waiting. Your friend Noah? He stared at the message. His fingers hovered over the send button. Then he pressed it. 3 days later, the reply came. From Ezra? Min subject, I never forgot Noah. I don't even know where to begin. I read your message 5 times. I wanted to write back before, but I was afraid. Afraid that maybe too much time had passed. That maybe you were angry, or worse, gone. Life here is strange. The silence is heavy. Everything looks the same. No trees, no flowers, no old benches. I miss Earth. I miss you. That stone you found. I made it for both of us. Hoped one day you'd find it and remember who we were. I'm glad you did. Let's start again. From here, attached is a photo of my new room. I've drawn Earth on the wall. I even put a tiny bench in the corner. Who it's for. Still your friend? Ezra Noah smiled as tears filled his eyes. He reached over and held the painted stone again. It wasn't just a rock. It was a memory, a connection. A small piece of human hope that had waited quietly in the dirt, just like he had. Sometimes it's not words that keep people together. Sometimes it's something simple. A stone, a message, a memory, and the quiet strength to reach out even when the silence feels too big. That's what makes humans different. It's what helps them hold on, even across the stars. But humans don't give up easily. Even in the silence, they wait. Even through sadness, they remember. And one small step toward connection can carry hope farther than light. This is part 6 of that journey. Alina sat alone in her favorite spot at the edge of the park. The sun was setting, and the sky turned soft shades of orange and pink. The trees swayed gently, and birds sang from the branches. Above, she used to come here with Aaron. He was her best friend. They met when they were 5 and had been close ever since. They built pillow forts, made silly videos, promised to travel the world together someday. But last month, Aaron moved to Titan, Saturn's largest moon. His mother had joined the Titan research team, and his family left Earth to live in one of the science domes. It was the chance of a lifetime. Everyone at school talked about how lucky he was. Alina didn't feel lucky. She felt lost. Aaron had promised to write often. And for the first few days, he did. Short messages, pictures of the strange yellow skies and the icy hills near the station. But then the messages stopped. No warning, no goodbye. At first, Alina waited. Maybe the connection was slow. Maybe Aaron was busy. But weeks passed, and still nothing came. She wanted to message him, to ask what happened. But she didn't know how to start. What if he didn't miss her the way she missed him? What if he had moved on? So instead, she stayed silent too. At school, she kept to herself. She sat near the back and drew in her notebook. Her drawings were mostly stars, planets, and people standing alone in far-off places. One afternoon, her art teacher, Mrs. Green, noticed, "Your drawings feel like they have a story," she said gently. Alina looked down. "They're just pictures." Mrs. Green nodded. "Sometimes pictures speak louder than words." She paused, then handed Alina a small folded flyer. It said, "Hearts Across Space, Art and Letters to the Stars." It was a project where students on Earth could send drawings and messages to friends and family who lived off-world. The messages would be sent through a special beam once a month. "Maybe you have something to share," Mrs. Green said. Alina held the flyer tightly. Maybe this was the chance she'd been waiting for. That night, she sat at her desk thinking. Hard. The paper was blank. The message in her heart was there, but the words felt stuck. So she did what came naturally. She picked up her pencil and began to draw. She drew a small boy sitting on a frozen hill, staring up at a star-filled sky. A girl sat on Earth looking at the same stars. A beam of light stretched between them, full of sketches, smiles, pieces of their shared memories. Below it, she wrote one sentence. "Even if you're far, I'm still here. Still your friend." Added a small note. "Hi, Aaron. I don't know why you stopped writing. Maybe something happened. Or maybe you're just figuring things out. That's okay. I just wanted you to know I haven't forgotten. I miss our talks. I miss you. You're still in my stories. Love, Alina." She submitted the message through the school system. The staff scanned it and added it to the next light packet that would be sent across the solar system. A part of her felt nervous, but another part felt lighter. She had spoken. She had reached. Now all she could do was wait. 12 days later, as Elena walked into her art class, Mrs. Green met her at the door. "You have something," she said with a smile. In her hands was a slim tablet. Elena's heart beat faster. She sat down and opened the message. There, on the screen, was a new drawing. One she hadn't made. It showed two kids sitting inside a small dome on Titan, building a tiny paper rocket. Outside, Saturn loomed big and gold. In the sky, a voice recording followed. "Elena, I'm sorry I didn't mean to disappear. The first week here was amazing. Then the homesickness hit. I felt strange, tired, and I didn't know how to talk about it. Your message, it reached me when I needed it most. I read it 5 times. I never stopped thinking about you. I just didn't know how to reach back. Thank you for waiting. Let's send pictures to each other again. Let's rebuild this bridge. I miss you. Always your friend, Aaron." Elena stared at the screen, smiling through tears. He hadn't forgotten. She looked out the classroom window at the wide sky above. It was still the same sky Aaron saw, just from far away. And now they were under it together again. Humans get quiet. Sometimes they feel lost. But deep down, they never stop reaching. They keep drawing. They keep hoping. And when the time is right, they reconnect. Because that's what makes humans special, even across the stars. Distance is not just measured in miles or stars' measured in hearts waiting to beat together again. This is a story of quiet sadness and the human spirit that never stops hoping. Even when it feels like all is lost, people find ways to reconnect. This is part 7 of that journey. Jason sat in his small room, surrounded by model spaceships and old photos. The walls were covered with posters of Earth and the nearby planets. But the biggest photo was the one of his sister Maya. Maya was his hero. She had always been brave and curious. When she got accepted to the Deep Space Exploration Academy, Jason was proud, but also scared. She left 6 months ago. At first they talked every day. Video calls, messages, shared dreams about the places she would visit.
Maya promised she would send him a star rock from every planet.
But slowly, the calls stopped. Months passed with no messages. Jason felt like she was slipping. Away, lost somewhere in the endless sky. He missed her terribly. One evening, Jason looked at the photo again. Maya was smiling, wearing her space uniform. The memory felt so close, yet so far. He wanted to reach out, to tell her he missed her. But the words stuck in his throat. What if she was too busy? What if she forgot him? Picked up his tablet and stared at the blank screen. Then he remembered something Maya told him once. Humans are born to reach. Even when the stars feel too far, we stretch our hands to hold on. Jason took a deep breath. He started typing. 2. Maya Everly, Deep Space Academy, Sector 9, from Jason Everly. Earth, hi Maya. I don't know if you remember Muir, little brother who always wanted to be an astronaut. I miss you. It's been a long time since we talked. I'm not sure if you're busy or if the distance is just too big. I wanted to tell you I'm proud of you. I'm still here. I hope you're safe. I hope you remember me. Please write back when you can. Your brother Jason, he sent the message. And waited, feeling both hopeful and scared. A week later, the tablet beeped. Message from me, Jason. I remember you. I never forgot you. I'm sorry I didn't write. The academy is harder than I thought. Sometimes I feel alone out here. Your message made me smile. It reminded me of home. I'm safe. I'm learning. And I'm coming back. I'll send you star rocks. One day. But for now, I send you this message. Love, my Jason smiled, feeling warmth spread through his chest. He looked out the window at the night sky. The stars didn't seem so far anymore, because hope had bridged the distance. Between them, humans are not just creatures of the earth. They are creatures of hope, connection, and endless reach. No matter how far someone moves away, Humans keep holding on, even across the stars. Asterisk. This is the last part of a story about distance, sadness, and the hope that keeps people connected. Even when it feels impossible, humans never give up on those they care about. Nia sat on the rooftop of her building, watching the stars blink in the clear night sky. She hugged her knees close, feeling the cool breeze on her face. Her brother, Keon, was gone. 2 years ago, he had left Earth to work on a new colony far away, near a distant star system. It was a dream come true for him. For Nia, it was a quiet heartbreak. At first, they wrote letters every week. They shared stories and plans for when he would return. Nia kept every letter, rereading them whenever she missed him. But over time, the letters became fewer. Life got busy for Keon, for Nia too. Their worlds grew apart. Now, she felt alone. The silence between them was loud. Nia didn't know how to fix it. She wanted to send a message, but didn't know what to say. How do you start when everything feels broken? One night, Nia found herself opening an old box in her closet. Inside were small things Keon had left behind, a model spaceship. A photo of them smiling, a worn-out notebook filled with his sketches. She picked up the notebook. Inside, Keon had written a short note. No matter where I go, I carry home inside me, because home is not a place, it's a feeling. It's the people we love. Nia's eyes filled with tears. She realized she wasn't the only one feeling lost. Keon carried the same hope. The next day, Nia went to the local communications center. She asked how to send a message to the colony where Keon lived. She was nervous. What if he didn't want to hear from her? What if the distance was too big? But she knew one thing. Humans never stop trying. At the center, she wrote, to Keon Navid, Alpha Centauri colony from Nia Navid. Earth, dear Keon, I don't know if you still think about home. I miss you. I miss the way you laughed, the way you told stories, the way we dreamed about the stars. Together, I know we both got busy, but I want to try again. I want to be close, even if we are far. You carry home inside you. Carry you inside me. Let's find our way back. With hope, Nia she sent the message and waited. Days turned into weeks. Then, one evening, her screen lit up. Message from Keon. Nia, I've read your message more times than I can count. I miss you too. Life here is hard, but your words remind me why I'm here. You are home. Thank you for reaching out. Let's never stop trying. Love, Keon. Nia smiled, tears rolling down her cheeks. She looked at the stars. Distance did not break them. It only made their hope stronger, because humans are born to reach, born to hold on, born to love. Even when the stars are between them,